All right, welcome back. We're going to look at section 1.3, subtracting integers. To this point, we've worked on adding integers with the same sign and adding integers with different signs. Okay, just like with those two subjects, subtracting integers has its own rule that we have to follow. Okay, how do we subtract integers? Okay, to subtract, we just add the opposite. Okay, adding the opposite is the key word there. Okay, what I like to say is we keep, change. And what I mean by that is when we look at a sample problem, I'll show you exactly what that means. Okay, but to sum it up, we don't change the sign of the first number, we leave it the same. In this case, it's a -5. We change our subtraction sign to an addition sign, and then we change the sign of the third number. And then once we have that, we just have an addition problem that we can follow the rules for addition. It sounds confusing. When we look at an example, it's pretty easy. So let's look at our first example. We have -5 minus 4. You're going to have to remember the phrase, keep, change. And that will help you remember what to do when you're subtracting integers. The first rule, keep, means keep the first number the same. Okay, so we keep our -5, -5. Step 2, change the subtraction sign to addition. So it was a subtraction problem, I'm turning it into an addition problem. Step 3, change the sign of the second number. It was a +4, so now it's a -4. And then now we have it as an addition problem. We have an addition of the opposite. Turn it to addition, turn the 4 to the opposite of 4, it's -4. Okay, then we just follow our addition rules to solve the problem. So when we have two numbers that are both negatives, we add them and we keep the negative sign. So 5 plus 4 is 9. Negative, we keep the negative. So our answer is -9. If you keep, change, and then follow your addition rules. Take a second, try the your turn, and then come back and check your answers with my answers. So let's take a look at the your turn section. Number 4 says -7 minus 2. This is number 4 we're working on. Okay, my rule tells me to keep the first one the same, so I keep that at -7. Change subtraction to addition, change the +2 to a -2, and then I follow my addition rules. Two signs are the same, I add them. 7 plus 2 is 9. I keep the sign of the larger number, so it's -9. Okay, number 5. Okay, we have -1 minus -3. Keep the -1 the same, change subtraction to addition, change the third number from subtraction or from negative to positive, and then I follow my addition rules. This time I have two numbers that are different signs, my -1, my +3. So I subtract the absolute values. 3 minus 1 is 2, and I keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. Okay, 3 is larger than 1, so I keep the positive that goes with the 3, and my answer is just 2. Number 6, I have 3 minus 5. Okay, if I take away 5 from 3, 3 is smaller than 5, so I know I'm going to end up with a negative number. So that should help me to figure out whether I did it correctly to begin with. But I follow my rule. I keep the first one the same. I change. Now you have 3 plus -5. Again, different signs. We subtract. We do 5 minus 3, which is 2. Keep the sign of the bigger absolute value. 5 is larger than 3, so it's a -2. And last but not least, number 7. We have -8 minus -4. Keep, change. Keep the first number the same, change it to addition, change the -4 to a +4. So again, third time in a row. Different signs. I subtract. I do 8 minus 4. I keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. 8 is larger than 4, so I keep the negative. And that is how we solve problems when we're subtracting with integers. We turn them into addition problems, and then we just follow our easy addition rules that we learned. Okay? If you have any questions, please ask, leave a comment, or do whatever you need to do.